I would like to demonstrate how you can make your own edge guides to fit any router you want. In this case, I have a DeWalt 621 plunge router that I use quite frequently, and all it takes is two boards. I will be cutting these in half, but first I want to cut a little rabbet on here that will fit into a groove in the base plate, so they'll sit like this. When I'm done, I'll cut them in half prior to that, and then in the top, after I drill the holes for these two rods, I'm going to put either a threaded insert, or this is called a thin clad locking insert. These might be slightly more stable, but this works just as well, and they're a lot less expensive. And then I use a set screw that has a brass tip on it so it doesn't mar the stainless steel rods, and they fit into the threaded inserts, either one. This I use in the center of the edge guide so that I can kind of control. It'll come into here, and I can control you know, the side movement on each side, so I can actually make this with just these parts, and they're as good an edge guide as any commercial edge guide. Drill the holes for the rods, so I'll need to know this distance between the two rods, and in this case it happens to be about 3 and 5/16 of an inch wide, and I want them to be a certain height above, and they happen to be about a ½ inch from the base of the router. So I'll drill the holes a ½ inch up from the bottom. Okay, you now notice that I'm going to use a router table with my custom-made router fence. I have a rabbiting bit in the router, and I put a bearing on it so that it would give me 1/4 inch depth of cut.
I first take a light pass with the rabbiting bit to make sure that I have it exactly correct. Then I can raise the router bit and make the final pass.
Unplug electrical outlet to the router. I changed the router bit, and now I have the slot cutter aligned.
I first align the slot cutter to the height of the bottom of the slot, and take a light pass to make sure I have it exact.
Okay, we now have the tongue cut, and we have the groove cut in here. So now I'm going to cut them in about half, around 5 to 5 1/8 inches wide on both pieces, and then I'll be able to drill the holes exactly right. I have the table saw fence set up, and I got a stop block here that's clamped onto the fence that aligns this so that once I get the first one cut and it is exactly right, then I can just put the boards in and do them all the same. Okay, you'll notice I now have the blocks cut out, and I've marked the spots where I'm going to drill the 5/16 inch holes, and I made the blocks so that these would be exactly the same distance from each end. This that I have a 5/16 inch brad point drill bit with a point on the end so I can get it pretty exact. I got my little stop block there set up, and now I can, since they're both the same size, I just turn them over, and I've already drilled that hole, and so I can just drill this hole. It's pretty easy, and you can see I have the two rod holes drilled equidistant from each end, and then for my center point I'm using a 5/16 24 socket head cap screw to adjust the side movement, and so I'm just going to use a tap and tap that hole. This is hickory, so I can just tap the hole with the 5/16 24-inch tap. Well, you notice I got the hole tapped and the screw threads in there pretty good, and it's you can move it back and forth either way, so it's going to work out for my centering control. This is what the two edge guides look like when finished.
Any woodworker can build their own custom edge guides, and for a variety of uses, please visit provenwoodworking.com.